talking tough in them songs, that's the drugs. I don't need no cases, all my pistols clean. So now I weigh my options. Used to use the triple beam. Used to get the wop, mix it with the nicotine. Now I travel state to state and put on for my team.
The fuck wrong with them? Ain't on my level, I should let my dog get them. I see niggas and they feelings, I don't feel them. Keep the Glockin' with me, it was like a ball with it. But at the end, I gotta stay patient. They hate me, Lord, I gotta stay patient. You one of them? Yeah. What's the problem? I'm one west, go to war with everybody. Cut the grass for the snake, fuck the gossip. Front line with them soldiers, that's my posture. Gun drawn, trying to curse the imposter. Shit get out the pocket, go to war with everybody, yeah. Send that hate, make it to the featherweights. Niggas claim they hard, but they sweeter than a dedication. Hold on, think it's time to introduce. I'm a man and a beast and a step and a road. Hold on, and a G and a soldier and a mover. Hold on, and a killer and a prophet and a shooter, nigga. Trying to stay humble, my shit crazy. Cold leader, need the blue stripe, no brick baby. Can't be serious, you a funny boy, young fly. Look wrong, must be a dummy, I ain't gunshot. Fuck that little bitch, she a hook. Nigga swear he the go, bring him to the bush. To the bush. The fuck wrong with him? Ain't on my level, I should let my dog get him. Niggas in their feelings, I don't feel them. Keep the Glockin' with me, it was like a ball with it. Yeah, at the end, gotta stay patient. They hate me, Lord, I gotta stay patient. You one of them? What's the problem? From one west, go to war with everybody.
I'm from Philly, you get hot, you catch a cold case. I'm one West, these brothers trying to set my soul straight. They done turned me to a prophet from a demon, and I'm locked in this shit and I ain't leaving. Never. Ski mask transform to war mode like I'm Voltron. Stamp on my head and my chest from the most high. Put something tight around your neck like a bow tie. Got my niggas waiting charged up like they phone died.
Red letter, drip clean, it looks so fly. Claim he riding, that's why I left his ass roadside. He gon' die. Skyscraper to a nosedive. 9mm plus P, fuck a 4-5. The fuck wrong with him? Ain't on my level, I should let my dog get him. I see niggas and they feelings, I don't feel them. Keep the Glockin' with me, it was like a ball with it. Be at the end, I gotta stay patient. They hate me, Lord, I gotta stay patient. You one of them? Yeah. What's the problem? I'm one west, go to war with everybody.
Shalom, Israel. This is the ISUPK under Commander Jerry Hunter. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. This is the ISUPK Wednesday night Nashville Law Class. I am priest and officers of Bog Yasharala. And just to give y'all a little update, keep this in remembrance. Here in the ISUPK and the Commander Jerry Hunter, we are not affiliated with no other Hebrew Israelite group. Not no break off from a break off from a break off. We're not affiliated with Scientology. We're not affiliated with Egyptology. We're not affiliated with Islam. We're not affiliated with nothing but this truth. Nothing but this truth. We don't associate with nobody else but the ISUPK. We're not number one, we're the only one. And my topic for tonight, I'm gonna talk about that Christianity has never taught women how to be women. They have never taught, and I'm not here to bash no woman or nothing like that. I'm just here to give a couple precepts. And I'll probably do a class, talking about men as well. But a lot of our sisters just due to white supremacy, and white supremacy has their hand in everything. White supremacy has corrupted this whole entire earth. And when I say white supremacy, I'm talking about the so-called white man that he is the devil that the Bible speaks of. He has, not only has he corrupted all these so-called churches, but call them trap houses. I call them trap houses. He has then corrupted the minds of especially our black leaders, especially our black leaders. You know, you look around and I mean, for years, I have growing up, I always used to wonder why was there so many churches if y'all said y'all serving the same God. And, you know, now they go to the weaker vessel, which is the woman. You know, even when you go back and look in the days of Adam and Eve, you know, they went to Eve. They didn't go to Adam. And there was a reason for that. It was a demise behind it. It was a demise behind it. And, you know, even to this day, from going all the way back to Eve, even down to our sisters today, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American woman. You know, they target them. And, you know, if they get to them, then it's a controlling tactic. So now if I get you, then I can tell you what to do with the certain things that I do and have you separate you from the stronghold, which is so-called black man within the house. I get you to get rid of him, then now I got you. Because now I'm gonna put those things in front of your face like welfare, um, food stamps. I'm gonna hit you with what they call it. I can't even think right now. Um, like little stimulus checks. They hit you with, they hit the so-called black woman with all these little things and corrupt her and have her thinking that she is up here and that she is equal to the man or that she is better than the man. They be giving our sisters better paying jobs. They just had them, they had them thinking that they is above the black man, and which that is far beyond the case. But when I go into and give you these precepts, I'm gonna show you things that I'm gonna show you how white supremacy has done destroyed our sisters as well as our brothers, as well as our brothers. And it's things that they don't teach. Yes.
I was gonna say what you was trying to say about what they giving the black woman, like Section 8 welfare, food stamps, and all that to try to get the woman away from the man and depend on the government.
You're right, Francis. But check this out. Your head is uncovered. So yeah, you're right, Francis. They they give they give our sisters things like that and make her feel like she is in authority. Make her feel like she is. It's it's to the point that white supremacy has been made so-called black woman say this here. I don't need a man. And I never heard no other nation, no other woman from another nation say that. And if you find, I have heard a few, and this is the breakdown. I have heard a few so-called white women say that they don't need no man, but guess what? She was hanging out with a black woman. She was hanging out with a black woman. So this is where some of the things that she was getting from um, the black woman. But all of that stems from white supremacy. White supremacy has been played a part in so many neighborhoods till all across this earth. They have done till they've been destroyed everywhere they went. They have been destroyed everywhere they went. And only will an Israelite woman, a so-called black woman, Hispanic, Native American woman will learn who she is, what to do, and how to do it. According to what the Most High said, the only way she gonna learn that is here in the ISUPK and the Commander General. She gonna learn how to be a woman. She gonna learn about sisterhood. She gonna learn how to be a better mother to her kids. She gonna learn like what being a sister and she gonna learn what sisterhood is. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of our sisters, they think going to a club, they exchanging outfits and if she go see this dude, she going, holding her down, this and that and third. They think that it's something in that, and which is not. They think that by them living by themselves, like and it's crazy. It's crazy. I have done in my time to travel as long as I've been living, I have met and this is like in my latter years, I have been met some sisters that don't have no man. Don't have no man, and I don't see how you comfortable with that. I don't see how you comfortable with not having a man when if you're a woman of a certain age, you seen Big Mama. Big Mama had her man. Big Mama wouldn't let nothing come in her house and talk about this and that and the third. And Big Mama didn't even care if he was out there, had another woman. Big Mama knew what to do to keep him in there. And him going out and getting another woman, that was his choice. But he didn't leave Big Mama. He didn't leave Big Mama. Big Mama held him down. Big Mama wasn't going in the club. Big Mama wasn't talking about she turning up. Big Mama wasn't dressing loose. Like, nah, Big Mama was on a whole nother level. But now you have all these TV shows. You have songs that's coming into play. You have sisters that have not healed from a dude doing this to them and they going to the club trying to find love. You're not gonna find no love. Club? Then they be listening to certain songs. I wanna say I'm gonna piggyback off of what I just said. Them going to the club finding love. It used to be a song. Love up in this club. You're not gonna find it. I remember when this was back when I used to go to clubs. In my early 20s, I'm talking like 2021, that was my thing. And I want to say one time I told my mother I had met this chick in a club. And my mom just flat out told me, she said, look, she said, you're going to have to leave her right where you left her. But I didn't understand that at the time because, my mind was somewhere else. But the older I got, and I started seeing, dudes that I was running with, they meeting chicks in the club. And I'm like, wow. After a while, they might parlay for about like little 6, 7 months. Next thing you know, she right back where they met at. And he called himself like he trying to lock it down, but it was something set aside for my mother telling me what she told me. My father also dropped a jewel on me too. He always told me, he said, look, man, he said, you ain't gonna never make a hoe into a housewife. And I was too young to understand that at the time that he told me that too, but you know. Plus, he also told me, he said, look, he said, for you to go get a chick out of a club and, you done seen her mess with this dude, and you think that you gonna change her. My pops told me, he said, you come out better taking your money, going to a whole house. He said, at least you know, at least you know what you got. At least you know what you got. Hey, for everybody that's checking in, the water for checking in, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this class. And if y'all have any questions, hey, put them in the chat. The question will get answered. If I don't answer, trust and believe, your question will get answered. Your question will get answered. But let me get back on to what I was talking about. For all those that, just tuning in, I'm talking about how Christianity has never taught women how to be women. And, like I say, white supremacy put so much in front of the so-called black woman face till they make it easy for her to go do the things that she can do. They make it easy for her to act out, and that's all up, and it's all a plan, you know what I'm saying? Because even in the Bible, Yahweh talks about how the woman is the weak vessel. So if white supremacy gets at the woman, and I don't mean coming at her like kidnapping her, this and that and third, he making it pleasable, Salaki. He making it pleasable for her. He makes it pleasable for her to be easily to be distracted. He take her off her course because in the process of her learning, she gonna have to learn. She is learning from what shows they had out there that I can see. Being 16 and pregnant. She is learning from love and hip hop. She learning from BET, watching videos. She learning how to wear clothes that's so revealing till it don't even make no sense. And that's one of the things our sisters, you know what I'm saying? Like they be wearing clothes that is so revealing, and then when a dude try to get at you, you forget that what you got on. You forget what you got on. You forget what you got on, and then you be trying to play all hard and all this and all that. But little do you know, you be setting yourself up. But once again, this is how white supremacy has destroyed us as a people. And when I say a people, I'm talking about God's chosen people. But here in the ISUPK, we here to restore order. We're here to restore order to our. We're not worrying about these other nations. We're not worrying about what other people say and what other people do. We in the highways and byways. We're going to do like Zephaniah 2:1. We're going to gather ourselves together. We're going to go and get our people together. We're going to go and get our people right. We're going to have to. Because some of our sisters, they really don't know how opinionated their voice is. But if they are well instructed and they listen, and they will listen, who can better, we're not here to say that we turning you into a woman of, we telling, how can I say this? How can I say this to make it make sense? We're here to tell you the things that is of a woman, thus saith the Most High. How to be a woman is here in the Bible. How to conduct yourself as a woman is here in the Bible. How to dress, how to speak, how to go about, dealing with your husband, how to deal with your kids, how to deal with your next door neighbor. All of this is in the Bible. And the first lesson, like you have to know how to receive instructions. You really have to humble yourself, and that goes for male or female. So, here in the ISUPK and the Commander Junior Hunter, we be telling our sisters like, yo, submit yourself to your husband. I mean, that ain't no more than you trusting him. That ain't no more than you trusting him because you have you have sisters out there that, they know their body count is high, but they don't care about it. To them, it's like when they know their body count is high, they feel like they have accomplished something. They feel like they're doing something. But you done gave your body to so many men till it's crazy. And you be thinking that, sometimes, especially I have seen this in young sisters, even when I was in high school, like dudes be hitting on certain females and they be thinking that they popping, like they popular. It's not that. It's just that your name then got spread around. That's all that was. I mean, even as you get older, you got some dudes that, especially in big cities, you got some cats that know each other. You know what I'm saying? One cat might tell his man, they ride by like, yeah, man, you see Shorty right there? Like, yo, he giving him everything he need to know, even down to, all you gotta do is say this here, but just switch it up. She like this. She gonna do this. She gonna, you know what I'm saying? But here in the ISUPK, when I say we here to restore order, we here to restore order. We are here to restore order. And our sisters, you know what I'm saying? Our sisters, they like discipline. And even some of our males, even some of our men, they like discipline, because nobody is going back trying to save our peoples only but the ISUPK and the Commander General Hunter. It's no other people. It is no other people that it's not. It's nobody. It's nobody on the face of the earth. There's nobody outside of ISUPK that do what we do. That does what we do. It is nobody. I mean, when I say it is nobody, it is nobody. So, you know, with that being said, I'm gonna jump off into something. And this is something that they don't do in Christianity. You know what I'm saying? In Christianity, like I said, white supremacy has done. Like Christianity is a joke. It has to become $1 billion business. It is a joke as far as it doesn't do nothing for our people. It does not do nothing for our people. You got people that go in a Christian church. Let me say it like this. You'll have a woman that go in Christianity. She might be an adulterous woman, and she'll run through that church. She'll run through that church like no tomorrow. She would run through that church like no tomorrow. Nobody would not stop her, even though they know that she is sleeping with all of these other women husbands. Pastor, the deacon, the reverend, they would not pull her to the side. They might speak about adultery and all that. Very rare. But 9 times out of 10, everybody in the church is trying to get at everybody. Everybody is trying to get at everybody. And nobody is going in these scriptures like the ISUPK and the Commander General Hunter and giving it to our people. And when I'm saying our people, I'm talking about the so-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native a Native American man, woman, and child. But then they want to sit and call us like we some hate group, we this, we that. Of course, we being looked upon because we are telling you the truth. We are telling you the truth. And a lot of people don't know how to receive that. But like I said, I'm going to dive off into things and I'm going to talk about how women are not being held accountable for the things that they do. They are not being held accountable. They are not. So I'm going to go to Titus chapter 1, and I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, the aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers. So, when you become holiness, like separate yourself from the things that you used to do, But they is not teaching you this in Christianity. The only thing they teaching you is how to keep coming back in this building. They're teaching you how to give up your money. I'm talking about down to the last dime. They don't care about you going broke. Because when it comes down to the pastor, when it's time for him to get his money, he gonna get his money. But when it's time for Sister Jackson, they gonna say, we're gonna pray about it. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna say, we're gonna pray about it. And it bees like that. And that is crazy. That is crazy. So, not false accusers. You have a lot of that. You have a lot of that. You have a lot of that. You have a lot of sisters that will say crazy things about a whole nother sister. From the young to the old. From the young to the old. And nobody's being held accountable for that. Nobody's being held accountable. But if you're not being taught this, then what you gonna do? You're gonna do what is pleasurable to you. Of course you're gonna talk about a sister. Matter of fact, not only you gonna talk about that sister, you're gonna talk about her kids. Whatever you know about her, you tell it. And the story just gonna get crazier and crazier the more it get told. Ain't no different than, like, with that false accusing, it ain't no different than this right here. For all of those that is listening to the sound of my voice, remember when you was in school and your teacher sat you in a circle. And she might have leaned left or leaned right. And she said, Johnny is coming down the street with Johnny is coming down the street with a red wagon. By the time it got back to her, hey, she probably heard this. Said, my mama don't like you. She said, if you say something else to me again, she gonna come out here. She ain't waiting for no PTA conference, none of that. You know what I'm saying? But with that false accuser, I always used to say this here. You got to be careful of the dog that's carrying the bone. Because whoever's telling the story, they're going to add on to it. Because whoever is telling the story, they got to make themselves look good. And women have a tendency of going around talking and telling things that they should not be doing. And a lot of that goes on in the church. When I say a lot of that goes, I have seen so much of that in my time of going to church. I have seen that. I'm talking about they talk so much, they get to pick and choose what preacher coming in and what preacher leave. Because they have them been given this authority. They want to dictate so much what goes on in the church till the preacher can't even sit up and say what he want to say because he is too scared to say anything because he know if he say something, they're going to get him up out of there. All right, not giving too much wine. So you can't give I don't know too many women that can hold wine, strong drink like that. You know what I'm saying? You got some that can, but still yet and all in all, at the end of the day, women are very emotional. So imagine a woman sipping on something. According to how she feel, and if she knows something about you, she telling it. She gonna tell it. She ain't gonna be able to hold it. She not gonna be able to hold it. All right. Not giving too much wine teaches of good things. You have to be teachers of good things, and this goes both ways. But our women have to be teachers of good things. You cannot give up on what it is that you know. You cannot let your child go astray. You know what I'm saying? Because there's ways of getting around what white supremacy has been implemented. And when I say that, you know what I'm saying? Like some of our sisters, they have fell short for disciplining their kids. You know what I'm saying? Like you let the child get the best of you. You let your child tell you that you put your hands on me, I'm calling the cops. There's no way that you should let a child tell you that when you're taking care of that child. For real. There's no way that you should let a child mistreat you when you is the one going to work taking care of this child. But once again, Christianity has led our women astray due to white supremacy. Due to white supremacy. Like, it's so crazy till you go in the average church today and it's being ran by women. And these women are not supposed to even be in that position. They're not supposed to even have that type of power. They're not supposed to even have that type of power. Okay, verse 4, it says that they may teach the young women to be sober, meaning that, you got to keep a good mind. Like, you can't get off your square like that. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a drink. But you got to stay sober. You got to be in your right frame of mind. You have to be in your right frame of mind. So if you got a sister that has been taught well, she's gonna guide you in the right direction. She gonna guide that young sister in the right direction. If a sister has been taught well, she gonna let this sister know, because she gonna go to her and her alone. She gonna let her know that if she ever crossed her, if she ever did something, says, let me talk to you. Because she know if they can come to a mutual understanding, she has to gain a friend. Now, if they don't, then you go get counseling. You go get counseling after that. But if she could go to her and her alone, hey, and they can come to a mutual understanding, then she hasn't gained a friend. All right, they say young women to be sober, to love their husband. You have to love your husband. You have to. I mean, you can't sit back and follow Hollywood, how they do the marriage, and the next thing you know, they done did the little contract, so now they want to opt out the contract. They want a divorce. You can't follow them. You cannot follow them kind of people. You cannot follow them kind of people, none whatsoever, because as an Israelite woman, you are better than any other women on the face of this earth. And when I say Israelite woman, I'm talking about so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You are above. Even though in the midst of being oppressed, you are still above. So it's a must that you get into the ISUBK. It is. And you got to stop depriving yourself. and to love their children. You have to love your children because what you put in your kids is what you're gonna get out. And then two, like it says in the scripture, train a child in the way that they should go. When he get old, she get old, they will not depart. They will not depart from your teachings. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but they will not depart. They will not depart. And then too, as kids, just like when we was kids, we looked at our parents, every move they made. So you a parent, even in these days and times, if you are a parent or a single mother, you know what I'm saying, you gotta instill values, morals, discipline. You have to. You cannot let your child go astray. You cannot leave a child to raise themselves. You cannot. Because a child does not know enough to raise itself. A child will go and he'll follow what looks good to him. And the next thing you know, he will be out in the streets. He will be out in the streets. He will be out in the streets and he will go astray. And then they say once you lose your kid to the streets, that's it. That's it. But like I said, I'm gonna touch on some things. And like I said, I'm not bashing no woman. I'm not bashing no women. I'm just telling you some things that you do not hear in Christianity. There's a lot of things that you don't hear in Christianity, and that's due to white supremacy. That is due to white supremacy. So I'm gonna talk about let me let me tell you about how like a woman not supposed to speak in the church. So I'm gonna give you like First Corinthians, I'm gonna start at chapter 14 at verse 33. But if you go, like I said, if you go in the average church, you would think that, like there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all you see in these churches, all women speaking. Not only are you seeing women speaking, they then took on titles like evangelist, pastor. And they would tell you that God has called them, like God has called them to preach and all that. Like, yo, come on, stop. But then they'll sit and tell you things like this right here. You don't think why you gotta second guess yourself? If you said that the Most High has called you to do the things, then but once again, these are the things that I'm getting ready to show you. And this is in the New Testament. This is something that Christianity, they rock with. I'm talking about they done came out with a whole nother Bible that just got the New Testament. But then they'll sit and tell you that this right here was only for this time. And I haven't heard crazy things, but there's no getting around this. This is no getting around this. When you look at First Corinthians chapter 14, and you start at verse 33, say for Yahweh is not the author of confusion. The Most High is not the author of confusion. He is not. I mean, the Most High said that my words go out and don't even come back void, meaning that they go out and there's no confusion with it coming back, no matter where it go, no matter who it touch on. A person might not want to accept it. They might not want to accept it due to the fact that, they have a certain spirit on them, but it's no getting around that. All right, so I'm gonna start off. It say for Yahweh is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. And the saints are God's chosen people, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American, Indian, man and woman, child. Verse 34, it say, let your woman keep silence in churches. It say, let your woman keep silent in churches. So this is my thing. This is my thing. Somebody gonna have to help me to understand how a woman can be a pastor, how a woman can be a reverend, how she can. I don't care nothing about her going to no theologian school. All of that is white supremacy. All that you're doing is just helping promote uh that BS that they got going on. But this is my thing. You have to show me in the scripture, whatever book, chapter, you have to show me where the Most High God said that a woman can preach of his words or teach of his words. Let me, Salaki, teach of his words. You have to show me this. I mean, that goes for anybody that is listening. And if you think that what I'm saying is wrong, show me in the book. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. But I'm gonna read this over. Verse 34 says, let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak. It is not even permitted for them to even speak. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? So once again, Christianity has failed women in this. But they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. This is a commandment. This is a commandment. Verse 35. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for a woman to speak in the church. These are the words of the Most High. The Most High say it's a shame for a woman to speak in the church. It's a shame. Like, and I be looking at Juanita Bynum, like, what is you doing? Like Paula White, like Joyce Meyer, like, what is y'all doing? But y'all do that for y'all selfish, greedy gains. Y'all do that to fatten your pocket, to make you look like you really know what you're doing. But one thing I give Juanita Bynum, she know how to motivate people. I'll give her that. She know how to psych people out. And it's something that she said, brother in the school was telling me, say that man, I can't even think about it. But it was crazy though. It was something crazy. It was something crazy, but a woman is not supposed to, a woman not supposed to teach this Bible. She is not. But I'm gonna I'm gonna go a little more into detail. I'm gonna touch on some more precepts. I'm gonna go to First Timothy. First Timothy chapter 2. And I'm gonna start at verse 11. Uh, uh, First Timothy chapter 2 and verse 11. They say, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, with all her learning. Let her learn in silence. Like, a woman is not supposed to be taking the Bible and think that she is doing this, doing that. I mean, don't get it wrong. Like, it's not nothing for her to show her kids. Like, listen, look what your father has shown me. This is what I got from your father. You know what I'm saying? Like, but as far as her getting standing Sunday, or she talking about she trying to get in a camp, or she out on the street corner. No, no. Most I ain't call you for that. Most I did not call you for that. The most I call you to be a woman. He ain't call you to try to do the things that a man's supposed to do. Because that is not, no, that is not your place. Verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to have usurp authority over the man. And by a woman, listen, by you saying Juanita Bynum standing up, she has all authority over every man that is in that church listening to her. And that just makes the man look docile a lot. Not one man gonna stand up and, you know what I'm saying? Like no. So now this is where white supremacy has done reversed the roles. They done gave the power that the man's supposed to have to the woman. So now this is where the woman, you got other women that are sit up in church, get the clapping, gyrating, running up and down, and she will use that same authority on her husband when she get home. Because she'll say something like this, you heard what Juanita said, you heard what Paula said, you heard, use that same authority. Then the next thing you know, they levels like this here. This the man, this the woman. This is the man, this is the woman. So now the woman that lost all respect for him, and guess who else gonna lose respect for that man? Now the kids gonna start disrespecting. Women don't know the power that they have over kids. That's why it's an order. You got God, Christ, man, woman, kids. That's why it's a must. In the ISUPK Community Junior Honor, we tell women to be in subjection to your husband. Let this man rule. Let this man be an authority. You got some women that can't even make a simple conscious decision. Take them to a spot, little drive-through, burger joint. They can't even make their mind up. Yo, the place only sell burgers and fries, sodas and milkshakes. You might get a couple ice cream cones or something like that. Either you're gonna get a single, double, or a triple. It's not hard. It's not hard. They'll get up there and be like this here, knowing you done been to this place numerous times. You know everybody that worked there, whatever shift, this and that and the third. And you gonna sit there like, That's why it's a must that the man be in total authority. And then then you know, some sisters be telling, he ain't gonna tell me what to do, he ain't gonna, and then you will get to work. Your boss will be like this, yo, you ain't working in that spot today. I got you working over here. You gonna drop your head like a slave? Yes, sir. You in subjection right there. You was in subjection right there. But then you want to sit and battle. You want to sit and go toe to toe with your man. You want to sit and go toe to toe with your husband. And another thing too, I'm gonna say this here. Another thing too. It just came across my mind. Let me tell you how crazy white supremacy has done so-called black women. Y'all walk with me. For everybody that's listening, y'all walk with me for a second. Y'all would sit Our sisters would sit and tell a man how to be a man. You ain't saying it now. You ain't doing it. You're going to go toe to toe. But you'll sit and laugh with your homo friend all day. You will sit and laugh with him all day. I mean, cut up, going out, letting him do your hair. Y'all doing the most. But you would not tell him that he is wrong for what he's doing. That he know that the Most High didn't make him like that. You ain't gonna tell him that he wrong, that he in error, but you would tell this man what you doing coming home late, knowing the man work. Man probably did a couple hours extra. You want to get on him, something he said. You don't like what he said to you. You don't like this. You don't like that. But you'll sit and cut the fool with your little homo friend all day long. But the only time you're going to say something to your homo friend is when he look at your son. When he say something like this right here, talking about, ooh, girl, talking about, look at Devin. Devin hands getting big and all that. Then now you want to call him a B. Now you don't want to hang out with him no more. Cause now he done say about how Devin hands and got big, his feet getting big and all that. Talking about, ooh, he growing, girl, look at it. Yeah, now it's serious. Now it done hit home. Yeah. Now it done hit home. Now you want to sit and nah, B, get on my porch, get. But the whole time y'all been running. Now, guess what? That little homo that you've been hanging around for years, he getting ready to tell all your secrets. He getting ready to put you on blast so bad, till if you do have a man, y'all getting ready to do this here. And guess what? That same little homo that you was hanging out with, he trying to take your place. And don't get in no fight with him. He gonna try and body you. But once again, this is where white supremacy has then destroyed us as a people. Because Juanita Biden would sit up in church, she'll jump and gyrate all day long, knowing that the choir director is homo. And you won't even tell him nothing. But only in the ISUBK that you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it together. Because what you see in Christianity, you will never see that in the ISUBK. I don't care what city you in, what state you in, you will never see that go down. Because it hasn't. And it ain't gonna start now. We've been established since 1969. Here it is, it's 2025. Tell me how many times that you done heard crazy wild stuff going in Christianity. You done heard crazy wild stuff. I don't care how old you is now. If you got any type of understanding, you done seen some crazy wild stuff go on in Christianity. I'm talking about where the people sitting up touch you on the head, you shaking and all that. And, yo, it's crazy. But that's white supremacy for you. That's how they do. That is how they do. That's why we say the so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. He brings corruption. He brings unaliving. He brings all kind of diseases. He brings famine. He brings poverty. It's nothing good with him. That's why we as Israelites, we have to depart from these people. We have to depart from these people. No matter what they do, they will try to make it look good on their behalf to try to win us so that we can come together and be like this here with them. No, no, no. Like the Most High say, man, never trust our enemies. Never trust your enemy. As iron rusts, so will his trust. So will his trust. So you have to be in silence, my sisters. Stop with all that. Stop with all that. Like Juanita Bynum, you sitting up trying to follow behind, and she ain't doing nothing but following behind these two little white girls, Paula White and Joyce Meyer. Like, come on, Juanita, you know God ain't called you to be no pastor, reverend, whatever title you fall up under, whatever. He did, he did, but that's just crazy. But to me, I feel like this right here is the title that Juanita Biden fall up on. And I'm not picking at her, y'all. I'm not. I'm just, and she is not the only woman. I'm gonna go to Proverbs 9:13. We have a lot of unlearned sisters that is up under this. We do. We have a lot of unlearned sisters that think that they know something and they don't. They won't take the time out to listen. They listen to crazy stuff, like things that don't even make sense, but it makes sense to them because the way that they've been carrying themselves, yes.
I think a lot of these women that's try to say they ministers and stuff, they do it because they see like the men and what they get out of being ministers, like they get cars and houses, like TD Jake's daughter, he in all this mess, so he passed his ministry down to his daughter. And they not doing it for the right reasons. They just doing it for even churches. I see they making their women, I mean they wives, the assistant pastor and all that, just to keep the money and the wealth in their family, or the executive pastor be their wife and stuff like that. So they can just keep the wealth in their family.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Princess. And the hustle is real because that ain't no different if I want to publish a sweepstake. They say that you can sign off and a family member can get it. So you being you being my real, why wouldn't I sign your name on it? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they do that. It's almost like twofold. They do it for the money. That's first and foremost. Don't get that misconstrued. They do it for the money, and then they do it uh so that a person could look at them in a light, like they like, oh man, she saved some souls with this. She done baptized, she done did this, she done did that. You know what I'm saying? So they do it more for like like it's a prestige thing. Like I'm up here, he down here. He ain't doing what I'm doing. He ain't saying what I'm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's more so like that. But once again, you gotta look at how white supremacy has done us. They go and get the weaker vessel, and by them putting a woman in that type of spotlight, they're gonna push the man out the way. They're gonna push the man out the way. So every man that is sitting in there watching, and they be going in these churches, that ain't doing nothing but weakening them. That's not doing nothing for a man. He not learning no brotherhood sitting up listening to a woman talk. He not learning strength. He not learning about masculinity. He is not. He's sitting up watching another woman sit and talk and carry on, and he just sit there. He can't even say nothing. Because guess what? Even though he is not a pastor, deacon, or nothing like that, let him say something. They're going to bar him from the church. They're going to bar him from the church, but they're going to be like this right here. They're going to have somebody come out and check and say, yo, you still want to pay some tithes? Yeah, it's, it's like, so it's like a monopoly. It's like monopoly. But this right here goes to these women that they be thinking that they doing something and they not. When you look at Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 13, they say the foolish woman is clamorous. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. She is simple and knoweth nothing. I mean, she knows nothing, Only thing she know how to do is destroy, mess something up. She, she ain't really out to learn nothing. You can't tell her nothing because she thinks she know everything. She thinks she know everything, and you have a lot of that that's in Christianity. I mean, you have a lot of that in these Christian churches, for real. And nobody is not, in Christianity, as long as the money coming in, who gonna say something? Because to them, why mess up what we got? They already said, come as you are, you know? And to me, I put a little remix on it. Come as you are, you get to do what you want to do. You get to do what you want to do. I mean, even when you, like, this right here is in Christianity. I had seen this a while back. It's a dude, gay dude, married another dude. I say that's the first man. Like how the pastor be having the first lady. This right, the first dude. Hey, like I say, white supremacy, like the things that goes on in these churches is out in society, and white supremacy is behind all of that. It's like they the puppet masters. They pulling all the strings, and it's crazy. It is crazy, even down to with the woman being an adulteress. While being an adulteress in the church. Ain't nobody gonna tell her she uh in air. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing wrong to her. Because for them to say something like that to her, you know, you got if how can I say this? If a woman is being really, really promiscuous, you have women that are in the church that are lesbians. And just as well as she's sleeping with men, she's sleeping with women. So a lot of that is going around. But I'm gonna jump off into Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 20. They say, such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness. Salaki. This right here falls under like the ways of a woman is never known. You know, and a lot of this goes on in Christianity just as well as it goes on in society. Just as well as it goes on in society. And you have you have people that knows this goes on. You know this goes on. And they won't say nothing. I can remember, and this right here a little sidebar. I remember next door neighbor. Man, I remember this like yesterday. Uh, the church that my mother used to drag us to, the next door neighbor. I remember seeing the preacher used to come to her house. Man, that man used to be in there spending the night. This man was spending the night. And I used to be like, like, you know, at first I was too young to understand. So this is the first thing that came across my mind. I thought they was cousins. I think they was cousins. And so I asked him, you know, I'm making sure my parents wasn't around. So I asked him. I knew him because I hadn't seen him, you know. My mom had to take us to this church so many times. And I asked him one day, I said, that lady house that you be going to, I said, you know, this your cousin? And man looking at me like I was crazy. He said, hey, man, he said, go ahead about your business, man. So I had sense enough to catch on. But I'm gonna give you a precept. Talks about this adulterous woman. And it says in Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 25 and verse 21. They say, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. And this days and time, you know how some of these females be dressing, you know, it's crazy. It is crazy. They do not tell our sisters about modest apparel. They do not tell our sisters about modest apparel. You know, they are just let our sisters wear mini skirts with splits on the side and things of that nature. And you know, a woman's body is for her husband. A woman's body is for her husband. Because you know, when there's certain things that say a female put on a skirt and she's a well-built woman. She can walk past 3 or 4 brothers. From the way she walked, how she looked, and what she got on, she'll make them brothers sin. Because them brothers will sit there and they'll say something, making little gestures and things of that nature. No different than a brother that's working out. He got a white beater on. Walk by some sisters, you know, same thing. They gonna look at it, start talking about this, talking about that. But if these things are not implemented in the church, which they are not, then we fall in the victim. We fall in the victim of sin because we have not been taught what sin is. And it's crazy, but you know, like I say, and I actually became the commander Junior Honor, the things that you need to know is in here. But a lot of people will not come into this truth due to the fact that they love to stay in their sin. They love to stay in their sin. They love it. They love it. But we're gonna get our people right though. We're gonna keep pushing this truth to the sky crack. We're gonna keep pushing this truth to this guy crack. But I'm gonna give you. Let me touch back on this topic when I was talking about how the the uh a woman that's supposed to be a preacher. I'm gonna give this last precept. I'm gonna give this last precept. Uh, Numbers, and this right here gonna prove. Numbers 27, and I'm gonna start at verse 16. Numbers chapter 27 and verse 16. They say, let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation. Can't get around this. Most I say set a man over the congregation. Set a man over the congregation, not no woman. Not no woman. Verse 17, which may go out before them, and which may go in before them, and which may lead them out, and which may bring them in, that the congregation of the Lord be not as sheep which have no shepherd. So this right here, teaching of this book, the teaching of the Most High words belongs to a man. And I know some of y'all are sitting and say, yo, it was prophetess in the Bible, it was this. Listen, these women was not teaching no men. I'm not saying that you had some women that have dreams and have came forth and foretold a dream. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not teaching the Bible. You're just talking about a dream. You had some women that have came and prepared men before they went to battle. These prophetess, they have done that. These prophetess have forewarned things, have told things. They were still not teaching the Bible. That is the difference. That is the difference. The Most High did not call no woman to teach of his words. Not one. And then two, Christianity be having women thinking that they're equal to men, if not better. And that's far from the truth. But you know, white supremacy had you thinking that too. White supremacy will have you thinking because at one point in time they used this black woman to promote this. This was a while back, but it was they used the black woman to promote it, but then when the promotion got abroad, it was the face of a white woman. She had a scarf wrapped on her head. She had a shirt tied up, and she was doing a thing like that. That's when they was talking about during this time. I forgot the era, but I remember the slogan. And I want to say they had this like a little TV commercial. But it was during the times when they was letting women go and hold down certain jobs as men did. But now you have women that have done surpassed all that. Salaka, you have women that have done surpassed all of that, and now you have women that have better jobs than men. So, that right there took a toll and played its part. So now you have women that, okay, now I don't have to depend on the man. I'm making more than him. I remember they came out with a TV show where they had women going to work and they had the men staying home. That was weakening the man. It's no way. Nah. Only time I ever stayed home, I was living with my daddy and mom. Other than that, when I got on my own, I'm just too much of a man to sit around and this not for no bragging rights and nothing like that. I was just raised different. I was raised different. I'm not gonna sit and I actually hear this from my mom. She say, I'm the only woman that ever took care of you, and she only took care of me but for so long, you know. And I'm not saying that my mom was a bad mother. No, she wasn't. It's just that she taught me a valuable lesson, you know, get a job, work, things of that nature. But no, and I never been, I heard guys say that, you know, would I be intimidated? Somebody had asked me that if a woman was making more money than me, would that intimidate me? No, no, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. As long as she know her place and know how to talk to me and deal with me, that would never been an issue. That would never been an issue. You know what I'm saying? Because I look at it like this right here. Okay, you make more money than me. That's just less money I gotta spend. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's real simple mathematics. You make more money than me, then hey, I guess we just get to spend your money. You know what I'm saying? That's how that goes. So that never was, that never was a thing for me. But in society, they used to have that TV show and that played in every house abroad. So you know what that was doing? That was programming. That was programming the woman to put herself above the man. That was weakening the man by him letting the woman go out, go to work. I don't care if you had, I don't care if you had 5 jobs. No, I'm not sitting home like that. It would have to be me being sick or something like that now. But you have some women think that they are equal to men. And before I even go into the scripture, let me say this for the record. This right here is real simple. If a man is 6'5" and a woman is 5'11", we all know greater than and less than. 6'5" is more than 5'11". So that right there knocks that off the table. Because if something is equal, it got to be equal all the way across the board. It has to be equal all the way across the board. It's no such thing as 5 and 4 is equal. Because if I got $5 and somebody got $4, I have more than you. So that right there is no. You cannot make that make sense. So therefore, a man is not equal to a woman. Because for one, a man is not a woman and a woman is not a man. That's really too simple. That's real simple. But for some people, you have to use this scripture. You have to go. You have to go in this scripture right here. 1 Corinthians 11. You have to really show this. And when a lot of sisters after heard this, when I say made them mad, made them mad. But hey, it's what the Most High said. This is the words of the Most High. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. I'm going to say this one more time. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. Chapter 11 and verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of the man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. So that right there, that throws anything that I don't know nobody that knows more than the Most High. So that's an order. You got God, you got Christ, you have man, you have woman. So the woman is up under 3 men. The woman has not surpassed, because if you want to say that, and I'm gonna say this here, and if somebody want to put this in the chat and say whatever, if you want to say that if the woman is equal to the man, then it's you kind of pushing her up there towards like Christ and God. There's no way that she can be equal with a man. There's no way. You know, even when the man came upon her in the garden and was telling her that she would be like a god, that she would know between right and wrong. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother topic. But a woman is not, and I'm not belittling no woman in no shape, form, or fashion, but a woman is not equal to no man. Like I said, that's too simple. You know what I'm saying? That's just too simple. I don't care if a woman is taller than a man, you're still not equal to him. Because guess what? If a woman is taller than a man, that still knocks it off the table. Because you're taller than him. So y'all not equal. Y'all are not equal. And then another thing they don't teach, another thing that they have women fall short of, uh, about covering your head. Like, you know, whenever a Bible is open, you're supposed to have your head covered. You're supposed to have your head covered. But I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk about it. Okay, when you look at first, this right here is like a question. This right here is a question that the Most High is asking. When you look at 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 13, the Most High is saying, "Judge in yourselves, is it commonly that a woman pray unto the Most High uncovered?" So you know how we learn in ISUBK and Commander Jerry Hunter. If you, I'm in chapter 11. So either you can go up or go down. You will find the answer to this question. Okay. So when you look at verse 6 of 1 Corinthians 11, it say, "For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn." So the shorn means that, you know, if her head is like if you know, like how some women will say, how can I say this? Like how some women will say they clipping the ends of their hair. I really don't know how to talk that kind of talk, like uh, clip the ends or something, split ends or whatever. I'm could be right or wrong. So this is what the shorn is. They say, "Let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. Let her be covered." A woman is supposed to have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't teach this in church. And their head supposed to be covered, you know what I'm saying? A woman can take like a little scarf, cover her head up. You know what I'm saying? She ain't got to tie it real tight or nothing like that. Matter of fact, she could just sit it on top, even if she don't really want to tie it tight. Depends on how her hair is done. You know, she could just sit it on top. But whenever this Bible is open and you have somebody teaching you, when they're reading from the Bible, a woman's head is supposed to be covered. You know, with men, it's not supposed to be. A man not supposed to have his head covered. It's not true. And then two other things that they don't teach, but they allow. They will have, and all of this stems from white supremacy, lesbianism. They will have that another woman can sleep with another woman. You know, they allow. It still became common now because they be having like these gay churches, and they be performing marriages. But let me bring this out. I'm gonna go in the scripture. When you look at Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 22, it says, "Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination." And the word abomination means disgust. So never let Christianity tell you just because this is in the Old Testament that the Old Testament is done away with. Because if you gotta say that these laws are done away with, then guess what? Tithes is in the Old Testament. So that has to be done away with too. You can't just take one and not the other. You can't take one and not the other. You cannot take one and not the other. So this is another thing that white supremacy has done failed the Israelite woman at. Because not only do they allow this in society, they allow this in Christian churches. They have done made it so comfortable for it to be on a level of acceptance till they have them built churches especially for them. And you know the Most High ain't with that. The Most High is not with that. Because this right here is a sin. And the wages of sin is death. The wages of sin is death. So once again, I'm showing you how white supremacy has been implemented into Christianity, and Christianity has not taught the woman how to be, has not taught women how to be a woman. So I'm gonna give you another precept on how white supremacy has made it easy for so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indian women to be disrespectful. When you look at Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 and verse 22 in the Apocrypha, and all of this right here is coming from the Most High. All of this is coming from the Most High. It said a woman, if she maintained her husband. So, in order for a woman to maintain her husband, she has to be in subjection. Submissive. She has to be submissive to her husband. You got to listen to what this man said, especially if this man is a righteous man. If this man is a righteous man. Now, if a woman is with a brother that's out in the world and he is doing worldly things, this and that, and third, it's gonna be some. It's gonna be like this. It's gonna be rocky. It's gonna be rocky because she is not going. She probably be over here doing her thing. He over here doing his thing, and they just gonna see each other whenever they see each other, or however they see each other. But if a woman wants to maintain her husband. Her husband has to be a righteous brother. And the only thing that I could see our brother being righteous is in the ISUPK under Commander Jeremy Hunter, because this brother is getting sound instructions from the Most High. He's getting sound instructions from the Most High. But if she maintained her husband, I just gave you how she can maintain her husband. But if she maintained her husband, it's full of anger, impudence. And impudence meaning that she ain't gonna show no type of respect, that she gonna be rude. And much reapproach. She gonna be in disapproval. She gonna be in disapproval of the things that he say, what he does, how he move, how he carry himself. So this right here brings about anger, because she is being impudent and she has much reproach. So she has to listen to her husband. She has to. She has to put off that old woman. You don't leave your husband. You learn your husband. You don't leave your husband, you learn him. You don't have to fight him. Because a woman that fights her husband, I don't mean fighting like this here. Nah. I'm talking about like this here. You always coming at him sideways. You doing things to agitate him until y'all start coming at each other like that. You don't have to do that with him. Sit back, learn it. Ask him what he needs. Ask him, what you need me to do? This is what you need done? Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do what you tell me to do. I'm gonna do what you tell me to do, how you say do it. And that relationship will grow like a redwood. It's gonna grow like a redwood. I mean, like a redwood, and it's gonna grow, it's gonna prosper. Because y'all gonna do things that's in sight of the Most High. Not the things that is according to what the world says. Not that. Not that. I'm gonna touch on a shameless woman. I'm gonna stay in the Apocrypha, in Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26 and verse 25. A shameless woman. A shameless woman is a woman that she don't have no shame. She don't have no shame. I'm talking about she could be in the club, she twerking, she doing the most. It's no shame to what she does. She don't care. You can't tell her nothing. She gonna do what is pleasing to her. She is going to do what is pleasing to her. She don't care what man she has over. She don't care if she got kids. She don't have no type of instruction. She don't have no morals. She like discipline. This is a shameless woman, a woman that does the most. When she is doing the most. She gonna do whatever it takes to get money, to get what she needs. Almost like by any means necessary. She don't care who sees her. She don't care who talk about her. She don't care. And I haven't seen women like that. But once again, yes, I'm blaming this on white supremacy because they have been taught so-called black woman, Hispanic woman, Native American, Indian woman, how to be a shameless woman. How to be a shameless woman because when you look at the so-called white woman, she would be in orgies. She would even stoop down and sleep with horses, dogs, and to try to look like she has done nothing. She would sleep with her sister, man. She would sleep with, they be into incest like crazy. They would be into incest like crazy. And our sisters want to mimic this. They want to mimic this. You know, and the only thing I can think of is that why they want to mimic this is because of being so oppressed till either they want to get out of the oppression or they just want to be accepted. They just want to be accepted. But this is what the Most High says about a shameless woman. He says, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. This is what the Most High is saying about a shameless woman. That she should be counted as a dog. Even if she, okay, let's say that she is sneaking and she's thinking that she's doing this, calling up, meet me here. Nobody knows that she is moving. Nobody that is in the physical. But the Most High has angels that record everything. Every move you make. I'm talking about even down to your thoughts. Guess what? Even though nobody didn't see her go in that hotel room, even nobody didn't see her get out the back seat in that alley, even though nobody never seen dudes come to her house like 3, 4 in the morning, she is still counted as a shameless woman. She is still counted as a dog. But she that is shamefaced will fear the Most High. She that is shamefaced will fear the Most High. She will fear the Most High. She that is shamefaced will fear the Most High. Okay. And this right here to me, this right here is an ISUPK one. Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and verse 14. I mean, to me it is. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord. And there's nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. Hey, a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Most High. Listen, a woman that don't be talking all the time and this and that, her character is beautiful. Not saying that she is scared or nothing like that, but that's a gift for the Lord. That is a gift for the Lord. And it says, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. There's so much as a mind well instructed, but guess what? This right here is a mind that is not well instructed. When you look at 1 Peter, 1 Peter chapter 3 at verse 1. Okay, it say, likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husband, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of wives. So, if you ain't obeying this word, guess what? It ain't nothing for your homegirl to tell you to say, girl, I wouldn't do that. You can't talk to me like that. And the conversation that the the conversation that always being won by the wives is her homegirl that don't have no man. They have the most to say. And I look at that like I look at that like when you take a sister that has that one homegirl that got the most advice that don't have no man, to me, that's like, and I'm not picking at nobody when I say this. I'm just gonna say it like this. That's like a blind person trying to tell you what the color blue look like. For a woman that has a husband listening to a woman that does not have a husband, that don't make no sense to me. That it doesn't. But the woman that don't have no husband, the minute that she meets somebody, it's like she goes into hiding. She goes into hiding. She our homegirl can't see her. When she do catch up with her, she be like, girl, I met so and so, this and that and third. But that one that don't have the man and you just met a man, her homegirl knows her track record. She know that she ain't gonna keep the dude bar for so long. She know that she ain't gonna keep the dude bar for so long. So what she do? She go and sit back and wait because she know that she coming around. But that's how a conversation is won by a woman that will listen to another woman that don't have no husband. She don't have nothing really constructive. She don't have no really concrete to give her. I mean, not nothing. She'll sit back and say this and say that. And the woman that is married, little do she know that this woman ain't gonna stop until she bring her to her level and have her without a man. And have her without a man. But that's just how it goes though. That's just how it goes. And I don't know why women does that. Like right now to this day, that still seems to amaze me. I don't get it. For real, I don't get it. I don't. And you have a lot of unlearned sisters that they just fall for the bait. They do. They fall for the bait. But I don't want none of my sisters to feel like I'm bashing y'all. I'm not. I'm just showing you some things that is in our book that you would not hear in Christianity. That's why we say come up out of Christianity. Leave that Christian church alone. Just walk away from it. Because I haven't read you things that you need to know. You need to know. Yeah, and I think I might just do a class, talking to the brothers. Because there's some things in here that's pertaining to some brothers that they need to hear that's in Christianity. But to the sisters, to my sisters, I'm talking about my Israelite sisters. If you're not in this truth, get in this truth. Do yourself a favor and get into this truth. It'll be the best thing that you ever did for yourself. Trust me, it would be the best thing that you ever have done for yourself. You look around, what else you got to do? You ain't really got nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? Plus, you're going to learn the things that is of the Most High. And watch and see what the Most High does for you. You know? So, with that being said, I'm going to give a courtesy salute to my brothers, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat Rakatham. To my sisters, Yahweh Shemar, Allah Thumb, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Class dismissed.